do we ever, and I know you're in a new administration, but do we ever track down and file, even though we don't have the property, the debt is still good? Is there statute of limitations on that debt?
I'm not sure about the statute of limitations. It's just according to statute, this is the process we have available.
Yeah, you can do it, but you aren't required to do it, but you can. And do we report delinquent debts as a way of protecting other creditors? Do we report them to credit agencies so that people say, if I don't pay my taxes, my credit rating is gonna take a hit?
We do not.
Okay. And do we advertise tax liens for personal property like we do with properties? Do we advertise those for people to pick up those liens?
No, that is not part of the process listed in statute.
Okay.
The process is that we send the Sheriff's Department out to collect the taxes.
Okay. And then do we track and file against estates? When do we, go through the obituaries and you see the legal notices where it indicates that if anyone who has claims against the estate can go ahead and file? Do we regularly, or can we regularly track that and file?
That is not part of what we do. We send the sheriffs out to the property where the personal property is located, and whoever is present receives the notice. Okay.
And then of the 61,000 that we're getting ready to write down, what percentage of that is what does that represent as far as delinquent personal property tax liens? That's just a horseback. Is that 5%, 3%?
So our total delinquent taxes
for personal property.
For personal property, it's about close to 10%.
Okay, that's good. It's good to get it cleaned up. I noticed some names that I recognized in that list, and I'm thinking, I can't believe these people didn't pay their taxes, and that our county is, and the taxpayers we represent, we're getting ready to give them a pass because they didn't pay their taxes, and that's unfortunate that sense of personal responsibility is missing. So anyway, those are all the questions I had, and of course I'm going to validate your work and approve that, but I'm just wondering if these out loud questions, if there's a process improvement, a way that we can reduce this and collect more money, not only for us, but for the school districts and the other taxing entities. So
I'm sure everyone appreciates your diligence in watching over the dollars. I'm just super grateful the Sheriff's Office is allocating the resources so that we can follow up on all of these delinquencies, and then we can clean up the ones that have been hanging out there for quite some time.
That's super. I mean, and that does, it takes the, I was talking to the Deputy Akers, and he gets does a lot of the door knocking, and that's a thankless job, and a lot of the detective work. So thank you very much, Sheriff, and thank you very much for your diligence in this. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Do you have anything?
Just grateful for you and the Sheriff's Department and how well you work together and get these cleaned up for us. And I'll be happy to make a motion for the certificates of clearance for personal property bills eligible for abatement.
And I'm pleased to second Vice Chairman Mack's motion.
Thank you, Cindy, for your expertise and your diligence and working so hard on this kind of stuff. I say it every time you get up there, you do an amazing job for us, and I appreciate you very much, and I'll make that unanimous.
Thank you. The next item I have is we've received an offer for an over-the-counter tax deed on parcel 109-59031. This offer meets the minimum required to pay the back taxes and fees that the county has incurred.
Discussion?
No, this is great. This is a win for us, and it takes one more delinquent account and takes it off the books. Thank you. I'll unless there's a discussion, Mr. Chairman, I'll move to approve.
I'll second the motion.
Make it unanimous. Thank you, Cindy, for your hard work. Next, we have Michael Peterson, represented by Mindy Young.
Good morning.
Morning.
This morning, I'm here to request approval of a prorated juvenile defense attorney agreement with attorney Raymond Geyser for fiscal year 24-25. Mr. Geyser already has an adult indigent defense contract. He has agreed to take on a prorated juvenile contract. This is already a budgeted expense due to the high case numbers from the previous years. He's going to start October 1st, and he's going to take a prorated contract for 90 cases instead of 130 cases. It's going to come out of the general fund attorney fees. Do you guys have any questions?
Questions, discussion for this?
I'll go ahead and make a motion, Mr. Chairman, that we go ahead and approve the prorated juvenile defense attorney agreement with attorney Raymond Geyser for fiscal year 2024-25.
I'll second Supervisor David's motion.
Glad to make that unanimous. Thank you, Mindy.
Thank you.
Next, we have Trey Andrews, Fair, Parks.
Good morning, board and Dustin. So my presenter actually isn't here, nor is our Grand Marshal. I got off the phone with our Grand Marshal's granddaughter, and she actually took the day off, but she's at her aunt's. She completely forgot about it. So JoJo Schroeder, they've been our locally owned business, one of our only locally owned grocers for over 40 years. She's given back to our community quite a bit, and we believe that she is a great Grand Marshal.
Great. Yeah, I think over the years, what stands out on my mind on what Thrifty and her family's done is out at the fair, the animal auction. They're always there over the years. I've seen them spend a tremendous amount of money supporting our youth amongst all the other stuff the JoJo and her family's done. So I feel like she's very well deserving of this, and I'm excited about it. Any other comments?
I think she's a great choice. A lot of young people got their start working at Thrifty's, bagging groceries, being cashiers. I'm pretty sure my dad even started out bagging groceries at Thrifty's, but her and Jake have definitely been a great blessing to our community, and I'm excited that she got chose for that. So
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you to the, Trey, thank you for, and to the Fair Committee for selecting and making this recommendation. And we're, the only lament is that Jake has gone on, and we couldn't honor them both, but that's life. So anyway, I would move that we go ahead and approve to have Miss JoJo Schroeder be the Grand Marshal for our County Fair Parade.
I'll be proud to second that.
I also will make that unanimous. Thank you, Trey.
Thank you.
Next, we have Brian Douglas, Health Department.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I have 4 items to present to you this morning, and the first item is we're seeking approval to add a part-time nutrition education specialist to our WIC staff. The new position would work Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 1:30, and this would equate to a total of 18 hours weekly at a range 9 classification. And 100% of the funding for this part-time position will come from the WIC grant. At this time, you are aware that over the last couple of years, that Greenlee County has been helping us with our WIC program. We were able to hire a registered dietitian. However, with the WIC program, a new registered dietitian for WIC has 6 months worth of modules to actually go through before they do a lot of work, that you're vested within WIC. Also, Greene County WIC, their NES helps us continually with our program, and if we're allowed to hire a part-time NES, Graham County would be working just solely with Graham County employees without outside help.
Discussion, questions, comments?
No, I'm the, WIC is a critical program, getting kids and young mothers the nutrition and all the other benefits and help that it provides. And if our director says we need another specialist and we've got the funding to take care of it, I trust completely the judgment and approve the request. I'll go ahead and make a motion that we go ahead and do just that and approve the part-time nutrition specialist for our WIC staff.
I'll second the motion.
Make it unanimous. Thank you, Brian.
Okay, thank you. Under second item, we're seeking approval to ratify an agreement with Dr. Lawrence Schiff to continue to provide mental health services to our adult detention facility. And Dr. Schiff, we've been working with him for, at least, I'd say 7 or 8 years. And he's done a great job for us.
Questions, comments?
Is this a on-call crisis counseling, or is it a series of classes that he comes down and visits with people, or a day or two, a month, where he comes and has office hours, so to speak?
Dr. Schiff, we work with him through telemedicine. He's actually based out of Kingman. We are required to offer mental and behavioral health services to our inmates. Dr. Schiff actually provides the services to, I'd say, maybe half of the county jails, and he provides services twice a month and then as needed. And he is on call. So when there is an issue, when someone needs to be seen, our medical staff can contact him, and he responds usually within an hour or so with help.
It's more like on a crisis basis rather than just I'd like to talk to a psychiatrist.
Twice a month, he does see patients that are requesting services. Throughout the rest of the month, it's kind of a crisis issue.
Vice Chair, any comments?
No, I will go ahead and make a motion to ratify the agreement with Dr. Lawrence Schiff to continue to provide mental health services to the adult detention facility.
I'll second Vice Chairman Mack's motion.
I'll make that unanimous.
Thanks. And we're also seeking approval for an amended WIC IGA for fiscal year 24-25. This amended IGA is basic just some verbiage.
Okay. Questions?
Updates.
Motion?
It's a formality. I don't think we need to dig into this one. I'll move that we go ahead and approve the WIC IGA #1 amendment.
I'll second that.
Make it unanimous. Next up.
Okay, and the last one is we're seeking approval for the Healthy People, Healthy Communities IGA Amendment #4. And the HPHC IGA, it's a block grant, and it encompasses several different programs, which is the Tobacco Prevention and Cessation, Healthy in Arizona Policy Initiative, Teen Pregnancy and Prevention, and the Child Fatality Review.
Thank you. Motion, comment?
I'll just refer to the last approval. It's just a formality, but a necessary formality. I'll go ahead and make a motion. We approve the Healthy People, Healthy Communities IGA Amendment 4.
I'll second it.
I'll make it unanimous. Brian, before you go, I just want to thank you. It's amazing all the hats you wear over there and all the all the different aspects of the health department that you have. I don't think you get enough love, so I'm sending you some love.
I'll take it.
You do a tremendous job, and I just want to thank you. I appreciate you very much.
Great, thank you.
Next, we have the board. Dustin Welker will take these next two items.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This first item is a request to approve a communication site use agreement between Monzia ComSite LLC in Graham County for public safety communication equipment. So this is in correlation with our massive communication upgrade project with Motorola that we've been working on for about a year now. And this has been a massive project. We've had weekly meetings for a year, and it's been a lot of work. That's why it was almost $2.5 million to do this project. Part of this communications upgrade, we have basically 3 critical areas where we have towers to relay the communications. One of them is on heliograph peak. And we used to be on we are currently on a DPS tower, and DPS has wanted us off that tower for a very long time. And when we did this project, we had the equipment's larger, it's different. And they basically said, if you want to stay on this tower, you need to do a structural assessment and then fortify the tower and beef it up, which financially that wasn't really feasible. Luckily, right next to the DPS tower, Mr. Joe Montier has a tower also, and he was willing to let us go on that tower. The initial terms are $12,000 annually to have all of our equipment on there, which is equipment on the tower, and he also has a building below the tower where most of the equipment will also sit. We feel like that's a very fair contract and very necessary as well. We need heliograph for that peak to be able to get on the other side of the mountain and on this side too. There are 5-year renewals within those with increases on those 5 years. So the initial term would be, the initial 5-year would be $12,000 annually, and that would be the fee for the first 5 years. From years 6 to 10, we'd have the option to renew, and it would go up to $13,800. Years 11 through 15 would be $15,780, and years 16 through 20 would be $18,250. So those are the terms of the agreement. I want to thank Jean Ruff. She was instrumental in putting that contract together. Mr. Montiers agreed to the terms as well, and that's what we're presenting for your approval today.
Yeah, thank you, Dustin, for doing that. That's great that we had the opportunity to be able to piggyback off that tower rather than spend a tremendous amount of money doing something else. So we appreciate that in the contract, and appreciate you too, Gene, for the work you did on it. Thank you so much. Any other comments?
Just a comment, and I'm assuming, Dustin, that includes, because it's there's actually, there are 3 different towers. They each have their own independent diesel generator, which runs 24 hours a day. So I'm assuming that also includes the fuel costs to electrify to provide the power to the tower.
Great question, and that is correct, Mr. Chairman. That includes everything. That's all inclusive.
It makes it a little easier to swallow.
Yeah.
Because we go from free to $1,000 a month, right?
Yeah.
With the DPS.
For a net.
Because we weren't paying DPS money, were we?
Correct. We were not paying anything for the DPS tower. Probably another reason they wanted us off.
It's $12,000 a year, though, correct?
$12,000 a year.
Yeah.
Annually for this, yes. And McCoy, if I've said anything incorrect, please speak up. I noticed you said as far away from a microphone as you possibly can, but he can ask questions too if he needs to.
Well, when it's $2.5 million to go to digital, and that's such an integral component of our system, we just have to have it. So $12,000 a year is not it's palatable.
We felt like it was a fair fee, correct, Supervisor David?
I'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and make your motion.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the communication site use agreement between Monzia ComSites LLC and Graham County.
I'll second Vice Chairman Mack's.
Happy to make it unanimous.
This next item, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, at our last meeting, we opened up the bids for the Fairgrounds Highway sign. We budgeted $150,000 for that, and back in February, March, when we were making the budgets, we felt like that would be sufficient, though we're not in the sign building business, so there was a little guesstimation with that number. We received 3 bids, and the highest bid was a little over $300,000. We also had a bid for $172,469, which was the lowest conforming bid. The company is Ponderosa Metalworks. They are a local company, and that is $22,000, almost $22,500 above what we budgeted. There's additional costs as well. We paid about $7,500 for design and engineering. The footings are 14 foot deep, 3 foot wide diameter, so they're pretty massive to hold a 26 foot tall sign that's about 15 foot wide too, so it's a substantial foundation. And then we've had some other costs as well. We had the highway department work with the co-op to get us power to there instead of pedestals, so we'd have power to the sign. Of course, it'll be lit up with LED lights, and then of course it has the digital sign, double-sided digital sign in it as well. So we are requesting, we feel like the final cost will be around $185,000 to $195,000, but we are asking for up to $200,000. Make sure we do have sufficient capacity in there to move from contingency, which is basically our fund balance, to cover the additional costs that we went over on the budget. We do have a lot of projects to do this year. A couple that we've already done or bid out and will be under budget are our exhibit building doors and our dispatch consoles. And just on those 2 projects alone, we have over $50,000 in under budget for those projects. That, of course, I'm using those to justify my ask. But anyway, we do need some more funds to finish that project, and we are still trying to, and we are on schedule to finish this before the fair. That's the ultimate goal.
This sign has been an ongoing project, and it's very exciting to see it finally getting down the road and done, and it's even more exciting it'll be open for the fair. You guys have done some amazing work at the fairgrounds. It's getting nothing but better. It's exciting times out there. New doors, we got the millings for the parking lot, and just on and on. You've done a tremendous job, so I thank you very much. And this sign's going to be quite an asset to our entry to the fairgrounds and information for people, so I'm very excited about it. Any other comments, discussions?
Change is good. We're getting some new technology. Trey won't have to put the letters up there with the pole anymore.
Yeah.
I think it's great, and definitely a great improvement.
And if it was your sign, I might balk at the 200,000, but it's our sign. So, and it's the citizens and the taxpayers of Graham County.
All right.
And after the initial sticker shock, I think that people will be virtually unanimous in saying this was long overdue, and it's a great landmark for our fairgrounds. So I'd go ahead and make a motion that we approve the increase the capital budget up to $200,000 and use some contingency funds to complete the sign project.
I will second Supervisor David's motion.
I'll gladly make that unanimous. Next, we have a chance for the board and our county manager to give a summary of what we've been doing the last few weeks since we've been our last meeting. So Dustin, you're up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Since our last meeting, we did have some more revenues come in, and we're closely watching those state shared revenues because we know the legislature is as well. And ours we received another month of September, and it came in Slightly less than last month's, but more than last September. So we were happy to see that, and we're up about 127,000 on those state shared revenues. I saw a report also this morning from the states, and they are up as well. We'll have a meeting with CSA today, and we'll hear a little more about that. But it's good that the state is also trending above their budget, which alleviates a lot of pain and pressure on the counties, or at least we would hope so. Our local sales tax numbers to continue to come in trending above budget as well, so we're happy to see that. On a little more on the Motorola communication upgrade, Motorola's been in our dispatch server room basically all week last week. From what I understand, we partially went live with parts of the dispatch, and I didn't hear anything crumbling around us over the weekend, so I'm assuming that's gone well. We will be in the next several weeks looking to go live with all our digital radios throughout the counties, and the other agencies are aware of that and are either prepared or will be prepared with the new radios when we flip that switch. The doors at the fairground exhibit buildings, that was a big project that we needed to get done before the fair, and the contractor out there has done a really good job. He hopes to actually be done tomorrow, so that's ahead of schedule, and we're anxious to have those doors done. The search and rescue facility, had the opportunity to tour it last week, and it's completely built, it's insulated, it's painted, it looks very good. Their next phase is to install some large gas heaters. They're working on the gas line right now, and that building is very close for them to move into. So they don't have quite a C of O on it yet, but they're getting close. Want to report on the millings that we were able to work out with ADOT, and again, I can't tell the board thank you enough. That was all of your doings, your workings with ADOT to be able to get that. If you go out there, you'll see a massive pile of milling sitting behind Field 3. They did one huge pile, and then they did a secondary one right next to it. There's quite a bit there, and they're really close to being done. We asked them to start layering it, spreading it out on the fairgrounds parking, and they were willing to do that. So they're dumping them there, and then they have a grader, and they're grading them in as they go. So that's been hugely beneficial. I just want to thank the board for intervening and helping us out when at a point we felt like we were pretty stuck. Our parks and maintenance department worked some overtime 2 weekends ago to be able to get the ag building floor done. They did a 2-part epoxy coating on it, and it needed 28 days to cure before the fair, so they were able to get that done. We did that all in-house, saved a tremendous amount of money by doing that, and just want to thank Trey, Jim, and Matt and their crews for jumping in, and they just get things done, and I sure appreciate those crews. They're very hardworking. They do a great job. Another big budget item that we budgeted this year was the data storage replacement upgrade through IT. It's been, I think, 10 to 15 years since we've had to replace all of our storage. Of course, like everything, it's antiquated. You can't upgrade it anymore, and we're actually out of capacity. So this was one of the largest projects we had going into this budget, and we could have just went to state contract and purchased something there that had already been vetted, but we really wanted to bid this out and see what the best possible price is. So McCoy and I worked together on that and put all those documents together last week, and they're officially out to bid. We'll be opening that bid on October 7th as a sealed bid in this meeting. Over at the fairgrounds, I'll just be a little more detailed because we're not going to have our regular work session today, but we have our adult leagues still going out there, which means mowing and dragging and chalking and cleaning and emptying dugouts and all those things on a daily basis. We also have AYSO and full go mode, which as we all know, brings thousands of people out to the fairgrounds over the weekend, and they're not all just there to visit Trey at his house. They're there to play soccer, and his guys have been doing a great job managing, trying to get their fair ready and making sure AYSO has everything they need. It's a lot to do. We do have 6 inmates back. We have 6 again this morning. We had 6 most of last week, though all the inmates were pulled on Thursday for an unknown reason throughout the county. But other than that, we're very grateful to have 6. We'd love to have more, but we're very grateful to have 6, and we need them right now in the worst way to get ready for the fair. Just a couple more things. The highway department's been very busy getting ready for and now flush coating our roads. They're well into that project. The roads that they are doing, I'll just hit this list real quick: Bowie Avenue, Solomon Road, Barney Lane, High Mesa, Busby, Foot, Monteith between 70 and Solomon, Lone Star, 19th Street, Norgene Way, our walking paths, Armory Road, Stockton Road, the paved sections, of course, Power Line Road, just the paved sections, and Roper Lake Road. So we appreciate their work on that, and appreciate the fog program that they are diligent with. Lastly, our engineering department's been working a lot on our 2 big projects that were monies received from the state. That's Tally Wash and Norton Road and Ray Lane. Norton Road and Ray Lane will begin on October 1st, so we're 2 weeks away from that. We've given them a notice to proceed. All the appropriate insurance and everything is in place, so we're ready to go on that, and that's a CKC project. And then Tally Wash, we had the opportunity to meet with Ethos. That was a contract we approved a couple weeks ago to help design that bridge. We had a very good meeting out there with them, with the highway department and engineering, and we're excited for that design to get underway. We're hoping to have that design done by March and then move to start bidding that out. And that's my report for now, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Vice Chairman Mack.
I don't have anything today, sir.
Okay. Supervisors David.
Thanks. Just a couple brief items, briefer than usual, in fact. Vice Chairman Mack, as well as you, Chairman, we all attended the Valley Telecom Cybersecurity Seminar, and that was very interesting, informative. It was a nice hosted event, and gave us a better perspective on some of our challenges and a greater appreciation for our IT department. We had on the 5th of September, we had an elected official department head meeting, which you chaired, and it was a very good meeting, great conversations, and it's nice to, at an executive level, to get everyone communicating and up to speed. Later that day, I had a National Association of Counties and an energy webinar. I'm on that subcommittee. And then later that day, there was a Mental Health Action Committee meeting held at EAC. And then we, again, Vice Chairman Mack, and he said he didn't do anything. He met with us, and we went down to see JoJo and gave her the good news that she had been nominated. We actually almost had to twist her arm to accept, because she said she's not much for accolades, but appreciated that opportunity and for us to recognize a wonderful person. Friday, September 6th, we had a radio auction. Nancy Jean Welker and her group, it was a benefit auction for the library. They donated $1,000 toward that. We ended up with $8,400+ and a number of items that we'll probably sell on silent auction. So it turned out nicely, and it's all money. And when we talk about the library, it's the Safford City Graham County Library. So we do have of course, the city would like us to do more, but we support the library, and it's great for our county. The following week, went to Safford City Council meeting, attended a wastewater webinar series to get a better idea on effluent and reclaimed effluent. There was a National Association of Counties, another meeting, and then there was a breakfast and economic development meeting that we attended. I think the whole board was there, and they emphasized how important the college is and the upcoming referendum. Encourage people to go out and vote. I'm not going to advocate from the dais which way to vote, but please read the information on that and make sure that you vote on that issue. Later on, there was another National Association of Counties meeting, a plethora of them, and local community to end homelessness. And then Wednesday evening, there was a town hall which was hosted and had a number of local candidates, well, 2 local candidates for the city council, and I spoke, and a couple out-of-town people spoke there. Department of Liquor License and Control, we heard 3 different applications in the Phoenix and Tucson area, and that's my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I won't go into everything I did because I did everything Paul did almost. I was at most of the meetings, so no need to go over that again. One thing I would like to mention, the season is coming up, the fair is coming up. It's going to be on us before we know it. Exciting times for the county. I also, the Christmas events are sneaking up on us. I attended a meeting of that to coordinate some of the events and the vendors and things. So all this time's coming up. This year's passing by so fast, and here we are on the verge of the holiday season. So I would just remind everybody to enjoy it, but be careful during these times, and appreciate you all. So next we have a call to the public. I don't see anything that come through, so we'll go on. We have some bids to open up here right quick for the fair concession.
So these bids are good bids. I think these are the only bids we ever get where people are trying to give us money. So it's a good one, Trey. Thank you. These are the bids for the north concession and the south concession. We give businesses the opportunity to give us a proposal to work those concession stands for the fair. From what we understand, they do very well. So what they're required to do is give us a bid amount and also a menu of what they would provide. So this first bid is for the north concession, and there is a minimum bid on this of $750. This first one is Grill on the Wheel, and their bid amount is $1,701. And then they have a menu with a wide variety of items on there I won't read. Is this for north as well?
Yes.
This is for the north concession stand as well, which again is a $750 minimum bid. And this is from A Toda Madre Mexican Kitchen is their name, and their bid amount is $1,000 even. And then they also have a good variety on their menu as well.
Do you want to approve these together, south, north? Is that okay? Or
No, I think they're on here separate, so let's, those are the only 2, correct?
For the south,
For
yeah.
the north.
Or the north, excuse me, yes.
So yeah, if we'll entertain a motion on the north.
I'll go ahead and make a motion, Mr. Chairman, that we submit those 2 bids for the north concession stand to Fair Department and also to our county manager for review and award to the lowest conforming bidder.
Highest.
We want the
Maybe
highest on
highest
this one.
conforming on this one.
All right.
I'll second
It's
Supervisor
Monday
David's
morning,
motion.
but thank you very much, highest.
Did I hear a second?
Yes, sir.
And I'll make that unanimous. So,
we just have one, correct? One bid on the south concession stand. This one is quite a bit busier, so the minimum bid is higher. This minimum bid is $2,500. And we have one bid for $5,250 from La Unica. And they have a very large menu as well.
wow, that's nice. They get a motion, we certainly want to get a motion on this one.
Okay, I'll do this one right, that we, that we go ahead and refer these for review, for conformity, and award it to the highest conforming bidder.
I'll second that.
Make it unanimous. Okay, that's it for today, so we'll adjourn this meeting. Thank you all.